Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel and to another video. Today we are going to install Linux Mint Debian Edition. This is based on Debian 11 Bullseye and it has been released just yesterday. That was 19th March 2022. And in this video I'm going to install it using the btrfs file system because we take advantage of time shift in the installation. And I'm going to show you also how you can tweak Lmde with the btrfs options and also Zram. Now this is a distribution that I really like because it's using the Cinnamon desktop environment, which is one of my favorite, and it's using Debian 11 as a base, which is the mother distribution for many other distributions. And it's also one of my favorite ones. So without further talking, let's jump into the video and see how we can install Linux Mint Debian Edition with the btrfs file system. So today guys, we are going to install Linux Mint Debian Edition 5 LC. This is based on Debian 11 Bullseye and it has been released just yesterday. That was the 19th of March 2022. So what I really like about this distribution is that it's very user friendly. It's really meant, let's say, for new users, but I think experienced users might enjoy also this distribution because it's really stable. And it is based on Debian 11, which, as you probably already know, it's an extremely stable distribution. It's the mother of all Debian-based distributions. So in this video, we're going to install it using the btrfs file system because we want to take advantage of the fact that timeshift comes already pre-installed in Linux Mint. And with the btrfs file system, taking snapshots and restore your system, it's really quick and easy. And also I'm going to show you how you can tweak several other settings. So I already downloaded the ISO. I will leave a link to it in the video description below. And I booted up here this virtual machine. So let's hit enter here to start the installer. It's going to take a moment here to boot up the machine. And so here we are in the desktop of Linux Mint Debian Edition. Now we can explore this a little bit later. Right now, let's go to the installation. So we just click on Install Linux Mint here. And it's going to boot up the installer in a second. So we're going to select Let's Go here. And I'm going to select my language. So I'm going to go here for English US and click Next. Now the zone has been already detected because I have already an internet connection. As you can see here, if you're using Wi-Fi, you're installing this on Metal, you can probably select your Wi-Fi network down here. And then you click Next. Select your keyboard. So I'm going to choose mine here. You can, of course, select yours and click Next and create the username. So I'm just going to type in here my name. The computer name is Mint Debian Edition. Username is fine and one password of your choice. And I'm going to retype it. And I do require my password to log in. So I will let this checked as it is and click Next. Now here comes the disk part. So if you want to just go straight ahead and install Linux Mint, just select the disk here from the drop-down. I have only one disk here available, so I'm just going to select this. And if you click Automated Installation, it's going to basically install it with the ext4 file system using one EFI partition if you have a UEFI machine, a swap partition, and a root partition. Now you have other options here to create LVM or encrypt the operating system and fill the disk with random data. Or you have also the choice to manual partitioning. And this is what I'm going to do in this video because I want to actually format the disk using the btrfs file system. So I'm going to select this option and click Next. And no partition table found on the drive. That's fine because it's a new disk. So I'm going to click Yes here. And so this is basically what the system is going to do if you don't do anything else. So it's going to create, like in the automatic partitioning, 3 partitions. A FAT32 partition, this is the EFI partition used for boot. A swap partition of about 8.7 gigabytes, and the rest is going to be used for root. So you don't have any home partition, you'll have to create this manually if you want to have that. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to click Edit Partitions, and this is going to boot up Gparted. And I'm going to replace all these partitions here. So I'm just going to right click on the partitions and click delete. I'm going to select also the swap here and click delete, and also the EFI partition and click delete. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to install it with EFI partition, and I'm going to install it with the root partition with the btrfs file system. Now by default, when you are going to install this with the btrfs file system, you will have 2 subvolumes created for you automatically. One is the root subvolume and one is the home subvolume, which makes it perfect to use this with timeshift. Now, I'm not going to create any swap partition here or swap file because later I'm going to show you how you can actually use a Zram in your installation here to improve also the performance. So I'm going to click here the plus to create the first partition, and I'm going to just define the size of the partition. The size is going to be, in my case, 300 megabytes. This is the size in megabytes, it's specified here. It is a primary partition, and the file system for this is going to be FAT32, and then click Add. Then I'm going to click the second partition here and click the plus sign again. And this time I'm going to accept the defaults here, and the file system is going to be btrfs, and then click Add. So this is done. We can now select the check mark here to apply the changes. Click Apply. It's going to take a moment to do this. And now we can click Close. The operation successfully completed. So this is not finished yet. Let me click here on the EFI partition and go to Manage Flags. Now this is going to be the boot partition. So I'm going to click here Boot. And then you can see here it's selecting also automatically ESP, so EFI system partition, and then I can click Close. So I can close Gparted here. And I can click refresh. You can see now it says EFI system partition. Now there is still something I need to do here. I need to right click on the btrfs partition, and I'm going to assign it to the root directory. And format as, actually it's not ext4, so I'm going to click again here, edit, and I'm going to select here btrfs and click OK. So we are now set to go. We can now click next. Now the bootloader here is going to be actually installed on STA1 because it's a EFI partition. And then I can click next. And this is the summary of changes. So that's fine for me. I can click install. And it's going to take a moment now to install the system. So I'm going to pause the video here, guys, because this is going to take a couple of minutes. And I'll be back with you once it's finished. So the installation is now complete, and we can click yes to restart our system here. And I'm going to press enter here to remove the ISO. Don't forget to do that. Otherwise, you're going to boot up again in the ISO. And this is our new bootloader. So let's hit Lmde 5LC to boot up in the new system. So here we have the slick reader for LightEM. So let's enter the password. And it helps if I type it correctly. And this is the desktop for Linux Mint Debian edition. So I'm going to close this box here because I'm running here in VirtualBox. So we have the welcome screen here. We can skip this and go to the first steps. Here you can choose, of course, the desktop colors. I'm going to let here the light theme. The modern look is fine with me. Here we have time shift. So let's launch this. We need to authenticate, of course. And we can set up our time shift here. You can see it's already selected btrfs because we are using the btrfs file system. The disk is fine, so we click next. Select your schedule according to your liking and click next. We enabled here already the queue groups. This is recommended, so I'm going to click next again. And this is done, so I can click finish. And I can take my first snapshot here by clicking create. You can see it literally takes like a photo, an instantaneous photo of the system. So I can close this up, and I can install here, for example, also the multimedia codecs. I can update the system and so on. Definitely recommend you to go through here. You can also activate your firewall. So we can do this as well. So I'm going to click launch, authenticate, and I'm going to turn this on for the home profile. And then I'm going to close this up. Now I'm going to update the system from the terminal, but you can do it also here from the update manager. So I'm going to close this window and open up the terminal. I'm going to increase the font size here so you can see better. And you can see if I type in uname-r, we are using the 5.10 kernel. This is the kernel of Debian 11 Bullseye. Then of course we can update our system by typing in sudo apt update here. And we need to authenticate. It's going to take a moment here to check the packages for the first time. We shouldn't have too many updates because the ISO is fairly new. You can see we have 7 packages. So we can upgrade here, sudo apt upgrade. And we can accept this. These are not big packages. It's updating also here Firefox, which is the biggest package of all of these packages. And now let me clean up the terminal here and type in cat/etc/fstab. Now let me go full screen. You can see better. So you can see here we have the btrfs volume that we created during installation. Well, actually, the installer created the volumes for us. We have basically the EFI partition, and we have the root subvolume and the home subvolume. These were created automatically. Now, notice that we don't have basically any options here. So if you want to have several options, which I definitely recommend you to do for the btrfs file system, you need to edit this file manually. So to do this, we need to type in sudo nano. Nano comes already pre-installed in Linux Mint, and then fstab. And what I would normally do here, I would go here to the btrfs defaults option here and actually remove defaults. And I would use the no access time option here to improve the read access time of the disk. I would use also the space cache, and I would use also the compress option. And I'm going to use zstd. I'm going to use also the SSD option. If you have an SSD, this is recommended. And also I'm going to use the discard equal async option. This is going to improve also the performance of the SSD. And that's going to do it. Subvol is fine. So I'm going to do the same here for the home subvolume. So I'm going to remove here defaults. So no A time. And then space cache. And compress equal zstd. And then SSD. And then discard equal async. And the rest is fine. So that's all for the options. So we can save this file, Ctrl-O and Ctrl-X. Now you noticed also before that when you type the password here in Linux Mint, it's showing asterisks. Now I don't like this behavior that much. I don't like to see the asterisks when I type my password. So if you want to change this, there is a file that you need to change in the system. So let me move into the directory cd /etc/sudoers.d. Now ls. So you can see we have a file at the beginning, 0 password feedback. Now we need to change the name of this file here. So let's change it. Let's type in sudo mv for move or rename in this case. And we are going to rename 0 password feedback to 0 password feedback.disabled. So this way we are not going to see the asterisks when we type the password. This is personal preference, but this is what I like. Now, another thing that we'll like to do is to actually activate Zram. So to activate Zram in my system, I can type in sudo apt install and then zram-tools and then hit enter. It's going to take a moment to install the package. It's not a big package. There you go. And now we can set the options for our Zram here by editing one file. So let's type in sudo nano /etc/default/zram swap. So here you can choose basically some options for your Zram. So in my case, I'm going to change the algorithm. I'm going to uncomment this line and I'm going to use zstd. And here also the size of the Zram. You can choose the size in megabytes or in percent. I'm going to do it in percent here. In this machine, I have 8 gigabytes of RAM. So I'm going to create a 2 gigabytes Zram here. So I'm 25% and I'm going to uncomment this line and then I can save this file. Ctrl-O and Ctrl-X. So now let's reboot our system once. It's going to take a moment to do this. We can reboot now our system. And we can log in with the password. We can close this window here and close also the welcome screen. I'm going to open up the terminal again, increase the font size. And if I type in here lsblk, you can see we have the Zram device here for 2 gigabytes, so the Zram is working fine. And if I type in cat/etc/fstab, you can see our options here for our btrfs file system. So in my experience until now, this system has been very, very fast and very reliable. Now for the rest, we have here the typical Linux Mint. So you have the latest version of Cinnamon with the latest packages for Linux Mint, but with the base of Debian 11. So we can click here the start menu, we can go to the settings, and you can see we have the typical settings here for Linux Mint that we all love. So the reason why I really like this version of Linux Mint, it's because it's based on Debian. Now, I don't have anything against Ubuntu by all means, but I just like to have a distribution based on Debian 11 because it's the mother distribution. And from experience, I know Debian 11 is extremely stable and it doesn't have that many updates over time. So if you're looking for a great Cinnamon experience based on Debian 11, Linux Mint Debian Edition 5 LC, it's definitely something you should try out. Now, if you try this out, let me know in the comments below what you think about this distribution, or if you're using it, if you have any tips and tricks for the community. And if you have any question about the video, let me also know in the comments below. I will try to answer you as soon as I can. So this was Lmde E5 LC based on Debian 11 Bullseye. As you can see, the installation process, if you want to use the btrfs file system, it's not the easiest one, but it's definitely not impossible, and it has definitely its advantages because you can take snapshots of the system very quickly. Now, if you have any question about the video, let me know in the comments below. I will try to answer you as soon as I can. And thank you so much for watching the video, guys. I really appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do that because it helps me a lot. And I'll see you very soon in the next video.